my goodness. Here we are. We're live. Live on LinkedIn. Hey, everybody in LinkedIn land. It's Jen Frazier with Firefly Partners. Another episode of Untangled, noon Eastern on a Thursday. Let's see. I am the CEO and founder of Firefly Partners, digital strategy and tech, all the great things with all the great organizations for, I just was saying, just 18 years. Shocking. But still loving it. Still love all the work. Love all the work that everyone's out there doing. Started Untangled to have great conversations with other great folks in the space doing amazing work helping the social goods sector. This week, I'm joined by the lovely and fabulous Taylor Wilson, who I was saying last week, I agree, has the best title ever. I love the Chief Shizzle Officer, founder of Creative Shizzles. Taylor, thank you for being here.
That's what I do. It's all the shizzle, all the shizzle.
All the shizzle, all the time.
The shizzle. It's good. It's good to be here. You know what's funny is, okay, so earlier this week, Jen, I was in New York and walking back to my car after going to like dinner after being with my client, and we looked over and there was this sign for this store. I think it was a store, and it was called Razzle Dazzle.
Oh, no way.
And someone with me goes, "What's Razzle Dazzle? Like, what store is that?" And I was like, "I don't know, but I used to have a podcast with Jen Fraser called The Razzle Dazzle Show for like a little while." And then we found out it was a car wash.
Oh my God. I mean, definitely not as cool, obviously.
I know.
But we're like, hey, I appreciate you. We love the naming, love the pizzazz you're putting into the world with your car wash.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So then she just goes, "Oh, you like stuff with like Z's, like two Z's."
Yeah,
like
the
shizzle, the razzle,
shizzle, the dazzle. Well, it's funny because, side note, I have a group of women that I mountain bike with, and our names are JAZL, and we're Team Jazzle. And so we say, and we do say Razzle Dazzle, Team Jazzle. So I'm kind of, we're like, we're spiritual there. We're connected on that izzle and the azzle.
Yeah,
but
we are.
We even have swag.
I think you told me about that, and I was like, let's just call the podcast Razzle Dazzle.
I know. And then we're like, yeah. So now you got Shizzle. So tell us about Shizzle for a second and all the amazing things you do at Shizzle, and then we'll jump into the AI without the hype.
Yeah, let's do it. So Shizzle, it's been 5 years. We were just talking about how long Firefly has been, and it's been just about April 1st, 2021 marks like the 5 year of when I went like all in on it full time. So wow, amazing. I've got a few more gray hairs now than I had.
Oh, dude.
At the start in 2021.
You're like, no one will ever know. It's fine.
Yeah, thank goodness I kind of dyed this a little bit. The roots are growing out. So Creative Shizzle is a branding and creative marketing partner for nonprofits and companies who need to fill in gaps on their creative or marketing team. So we do a lot of work around brand identity and messaging, but then we also just help to be like an outsourced marketing team for people who need that.
We do. We use your amazing team. We love your Shizzle team. They're the best. So I can just
I was just looking. I'm seeing some of your projects. I'm like, oh, these look good. I love to log in and like see what our team is sending back to clients in our project system. I'm like, ooh, I like that. Ooh, I like that. So that's the fun part of my job is I get to like look at all the cool design work that we're sending back to clients. I'm like, wow, that's so creative. I
love it.
That's some razzle dazzle.
It sure is. We're dazzling. It's dazzling. We've got so many. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff in the works right now. We're about to go out with a bunch of new look and feel of stuff. So we're very excited.
I like your stuff.
Doing this.
I like how you're going. I like it.
It's good. Mm-hmm. So you got Shizzle. So you got a bunch of folks doing a lot of great work. Tell me about sort of where we came up with this idea of AI without the hype. Sort of what's actually working. Because I think we talked about this, and there's something actually that was coming up a lot. Is sort of it's that, what's that curve called, where you're like everything's super exciting, and then you kind of crash down, and then you kind of resurface and level out. Like, okay, now we're actually past that. We're kind of in that like, okay, actually, it doesn't just like make your bed and like do all the work for you and do all it does, but not like, hey, James, bring the car around and make me a fresh pot of coffee. Like, it's not, that's not what we're talking about. So like, let's get past the like hype of AI and let me hear a little bit about what you all how you guys are using it, I guess, as a team or
Yeah.
something you're experimenting with.
Yeah, I think the idea, you and I were talking about AI, and what can we talk about in AI that's practical
Yes.
for teams?
Yes.
And that's one of the ways that I like to think about it. Okay, there's headlines, and that's mostly hype.
Right?
There's a lot of doom and gloom. There's a lot of it's taking everyone's jobs.
Yeah.
I think Microsoft CEO just predicted everyone, we all have 18 months. And I'm like, come on.
Like, settle down.
There's also so there's that. And I think that's a lot of like hype.
Yes.
I also think there's the hype about, you saw, I don't know if you saw with like Moltbot, Claudebot / became Moltbot, all this stuff, like it's going to do, like run your whole business. Like you see so many, like, I see tons of ads all the time too, targeted to me. Like, just get my AI framework ebook for $20 and you're going to learn how to start a 7-figure business with AI doing all of it. And I'm like, that's not real either. And so there's just so much hype. And what I don't like about the hype is it's freaking everyone out.
It is.
It's not true right now. I'm not saying it's not going to ever be true, but it is not true right now.
Right now. Yeah.
And it's just not practical. And I think it's like people either are willing to like get their hands dirty with practical things in AI, or they're afraid because of the hype, and then they don't touch it at all. And then there's probably a lot of stuff that they could use and leverage and realize like, oh, this is actually really helping my day-to-day life a lot.
Totally.
If we could just get beyond the hype and like the headlines.
Yeah, I think there's those two, we talk about these two extremes of like, oh my God, everyone's going to lose their job. So, which also okay, great. What do I do with that information?
Yeah.
Or then, like it can do everything, which is also part of why you're going to lose your job, because it can just do everything. And you're like, really. Yeah, not today.
It just can't.
No.
And it's fine that we say
computer at the end of the day.
Newsflash. Yeah. So there's a couple of things. So like I even I don't know, probably a year or so ago, started having people say to me like, are you really worried? Oh my gosh, your whole design business. Like, are you really worried? Like everyone can just go use ChatGPT now. And even things like, okay, Adobe Express or Photoshop integrates into ChatGPT. So like you don't need a designer anymore. Well, you go try some of those things and you come back to me.
When you're ready to
what happens, because like we're getting past the days of everyone having like 6 thumbs. Like it's getting better and better, but it's very much like you can't manipulate it in the way that I think the hypey headlines really do. And I think there's so much value. And you and I, back in our day together, we're talking about human to human, and I still like fully
100%
believe that. I think marketing is human to human, and I think when we talk about these tools and AI and how we can leverage them for our work, it's really like humans are at the core, like
totally.
But AI is something that can help us speed
like
things up, find efficiencies.
Right. Yeah.
So that's big picture, like how I'm thinking about hype versus what's real.
Yeah. What have you, I know we talked before and you said you all had sort of implemented, or you have been building some things to kind of help facilitate, just like we've been saying, like how can we use the tools to help facilitate the work that we still are doing, with our clients. It is sort of like, okay, we're not like, hey, client here, talk to this bot, like you're out, we're out of it completely. Obviously not. But then it's sort of like looking at the different ways you're engaging with and the work that you're trying to, provide for your clients. How can you make that process maybe it's just a little faster, a little more efficient, so that your teams can focus on the more strategic analysis, interpretations, all that kind of stuff. So how is that applying inside the Shizzle world?
Yeah, I think it's applying in different ways. So we did build a tool. It's an MVP, and we're actually kind of rethinking about how do we retool it, because all of this stuff is changing so quickly.
Right.
But we built it. It's called Scribbizzle, and
I'm shocked.
It's your scribe. So like we have a lot of our people are designers. We have content strategists as well. But one of the things that I've been seeing as a marketer, like I took this idea from my life as a marketer for 20 years.
Right.
And doing a lot of social media strategy and content strategy, I said, well, what if we could just have something that learns about my brand, learns about my target audience, and then puts literally like on a calendar grid a topic every day. Here's what you could talk about. Because one of the hardest things as like let's just take a social media strategist or social media coordinator. One of the hardest things is to say, what do I talk about? I've got to have, everyone says I need to be an influencer now. We have to have content all the time. So like, how do I come up with new ideas all the time?
It's hard.
Yeah. And so you can go do that in ChatGPT, you know, and you can say like, give me a month's worth of content. But I thought, but like, what about like putting it literally on a calendar?
Yeah.
And then saying, here's your topic. Here's how you can refine your topic. And then here is your blog, your social, and your email newsletter that all go with that topic.
Right.
So we built a tool that does that.
Okay.
And then, so that's sort of like one thing where I said, I think we could build something. Now, to be honest with you, Jen, like I'm trying to think like, I don't know how my little small company can keep up with the world
that
of
is
software.
real.
Development, and there's all these other tools. So I would say like phase 2 is we have that. We're kind of retooling the user experience of it right now.
Yeah.
But we use a lot of other tools to do those types of things. We use tools for like, I'll give you a couple of use cases. One is more, I think something really interesting for brands right now to be thinking about is answer engine optimization, AEO. People are calling it GEO as well.
Yep.
It's like the new wave of SEO. It's how do people find me, because people are looking for things through Gemini and ChatGPT and Perplexity and Claude, and like they're not just going to Google and searching. So, well, there are AI tools that can help you look at what's your AI visibility score in these, you know, answer engines. And then they can even tell you what are people searching for. As it relates to your brand. So it's like a new way of thinking about, old days was like content, like keyword strategy, like what are all the keywords we need to rank for? Now it's very much like people are going into their phone, and I will like open up Gemini on my phone and be like blah 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 blah, blah and type in like this whole dialogue, speak to it, and then ask it to talk back to me. And so people are asking these long drawn out questions. That's a use of AI. So now we're leveraging tools that help us understand what people are asking in long question format, so that we can then say, okay, this is what people are really trying to understand as it relates to our business or nonprofit. How do we create content around that?
I like to ask people specifics, like what tools are you using? Because I like to give, again, practical tips for people. How to break that down?
There's several that I'm trying out.
Okay.
So there's a really interesting one that I found recently called Adaptify.
Oh.
I think adaptify.ai.
I'm shocked.
I'll send you the links to anything that
if you have the links, that'd be great.
That one is kind of fascinating. I mean, it is the best in terms of like the report that it gives you. That's like, this is exactly what everybody is like typing in and asking these answer engines. And these are what your competitors are ranking for.
Awesome.
And this is your score. And so we're using that to do research, right? And to help develop strategy. All of the main SEO tools are sort of adding in AI visibility now. So if you go to SEMrush, Moz, you know, there's one called Search Atlas, Uber Suggest. A lot of the main ones for SEO are starting to add in this layer of AI visibility. The way Adaptify is doing it, and by the way,
I know you're not getting paid by them.
I don't get anything for any of these companies. I just like talking about tools I like.
I know, me too.
Adaptify is the most interesting in the way that it does it. Now, it's not cheap. These tools are not cheap.
Yeah, I know.
But like very, very powerful. And they can digest information for you within a matter of 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
That would take a person like a whole week or 2 weeks to do their manual research on.
Yep. That's
that's pretty cool.
There. Yeah.
That's like the unlock, you know?
Yeah.
I'll give you another example that's not marketing related. Yeah. So we use Monday.com. Our team our clients get a monday.com board, and that's kind of how we used to manage our internal projects. Now Monday, every single week, I feel like I log in and they're adding new AI tools in there.
They totally are.
It's crazy. So now it's like, recently we used to kind of like manually configure and set up boards. Now there's a Monday AI agent where I just type into it what kind of project I'm managing. And it will create the workspace or the board or the project management system for me.
Right.
Based on kind of what I tell the use cases are. And like, it is good.
Right. They're all doing it, which I think is the other, it's the whole like, okay, hold on. This is one of the things we really emphasize a lot with our clients is to be like, I know you've been using blah for however long. Have you stopped and gone back and really looked through the product again to look at all the ways that every one of these products is pulling in new functionality, AI, generated, whatever, AI based, blah, blah, blah. So like, I know it's hard because you kind of also go, I gotta do my things, and you kind of get in your routines and you do your things, and you're like, oh wait, if you stop for 5 seconds and go, let's just do a little bit of education here. Oh, my little use case, my little workflows that I do every week, that can almost be done for me, or almost, those kinds of things. We're like, oh, they've built that into the platform now. I don't need to like manually take it through these steps to send out the email or do my segmentations or, whatever the things are. There's so much that's being built in. That's one of my major recommendations for people right now is to stop, take a look back at the platforms you're currently using and be like, oh, wait, they've already built in like all these little bots to do a lot of the things. So you don't even have to think about, oh, I need to go train my own bots to do whatever. It's like a lot of times they're already happening, like you said, in your project management tool, in your whatever, in your email marketing platform, are already kind of in there. It's just take the time to back out and like stop your day to day, which is hard because I get that you're like, no, I'm under deadlines. But if you say I'm going to carve out a little time or assign somebody that job inside your organization to just do the exploration of what's happening in these tools, it is like literally the production cycle now is like so fast that you're like, didn't know that wasn't there last week. Well, it's fine. It's here this week. So those are two good examples of like, oh wait, here's how you can look at, and I love those. I like we'll list out some of those tools on the resource
I'll
area
send you a bunch of links to like
put those at the bottom of the blog comments. For sure.
Yeah.
I'm creating in my, not my spare time that I don't have, but like a little resource section for all the great tools that folks on the show recommend, so folks can kind of go, what are they? We need to categorize them. Like, what are these like great search tools? Are these great project management, adoptions, whatever? There's like so many things that people are like, oh, you need to look at this, look at that. And I do feel like one of the things you said at the beginning of the show is it's hard to keep up. It's hard to, as a small business owner, business person, working nonprofit staffer who's overwhelmed. It's just, that's one of those pieces where it starts to feel like, so you do need to sort of find, I don't know if you've got that in your little bag of tricks, sort of your other thing that I think is useful for people is where you go look for other folks. This is their whole job, is to just stay on top of the things and help compile and bring back trusted resources. They've done all the poking around and they've said, oh, here's my take on the best X kind of tool. Do you have spots that you go that you look?
Yeah. I have a couple of little things in I've just, I don't know, did and then found like, oh, that kind of works. That's for like discovery. So one is, I think there are a couple of like AI tools and newsletters that I'm subscribed to. My inbox is a hot mess, so like I'll have to go find those as well to then send you like what they are. But there's a couple that are pretty good and I can quickly scan and see, oh, that's interesting. There is a little thing that I do. I am very susceptible to Instagram advertising.
Oh, yeah.
So I take my scrolling and I look at ads.
Yeah.
I click on them, which is why I get a lot more.
That's why you get a lot more.
Which is why I get a lot more. I know what I'm doing to myself. But I will say I discover a lot of stuff that way because I will just take a little bit of time and be like, if I see one where I'm like, oh, that actually looks interesting. Yeah. Say they have like a good hook or headline.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is that? I'll go look up the website. I'll make sure it doesn't look like a scam.
Right.
And if it doesn't, sometimes I'll go to like Trustpilot or
Yep.
Reddit and I'll like look for reviews before I
Yep.
try the free trial. I try
Totally.
a lot of free trials, which sometimes you have to remember to like go. You can get
Oh, I've
stuck
got a
with
lot of
like
reminders
paying
that
for
have
a
to go
lot of
cancel the
things
first.
that you don't like. You cancel it right away.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's one way is I literally like I do actually study the advertising that is fed to me
Yeah.
a lot on Instagram and LinkedIn too a bit.
Yeah.
That's one tool. I discover a lot of things that way, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I think Adaptify, I found on an Instagram ad. There's a lot of things that I actually use now where I'm
That
like,
you've been like,
I saw it on
their
an Instagram
advertising
ad.
worked. Imagine that.
Yeah,
Well, there you
it
go.
works. So, advertising. The other thing that I do is I will go to big platforms that I use that let's take a MailChimp. This is going to sound pretty nerdy. And this is the sort of thing where you might actually want to just like give yourself a Friday afternoon to do
Yeah.
tools exploration.
Exactly.
Go to MailChimp, look at their integrations page, see what they integrate with, and if any of it looks interesting and you're like, I don't know what that is, click on it, read a little bit about it. Go to HubSpot, look at their integrations
Their integrations
partners.
page is insane.
That one's big. That one's overwhelming. Go to, if you're looking for different tools that might help you and integrate with your nonprofit software in particular, go to the partner integrations pages as much as you can find them with your CRM or your, whatever. Go to QuickBooks integrations page.
Yeah.
There are so many things that I have figured out or found out about by literally going to like larger software companies, going to their integrations page, looking at and like starting to click on tools that I've never heard of before. I have found a lot of like sales and marketing tools this way.
Yeah.
And you can go down a rabbit hole, but it is one of the ways that I find stuff.
Interesting. I think that's that's a good hot take. That's a good top tip.
It's a little different.
It's different.
Yeah.
I mean, I have done that before.
Yeah.
I definitely read the sort of descriptions of the different platforms in there, and just sort of like go, yeah, because I mean, again, I think platforms are spinning up at an insane rate right now. So you do have to have some of that like cut through the hype. Back to our main topic, cutting through the hype and sort of saying, really, it does take a bit of though like exploration, playing. If you have the luxury, again, maybe it's just those Friday afternoons that we're able to set aside a little bit of time and play. Obviously, you have a prioritized list in your head at your company or organization about what are the things that you're feeling like aren't quite where they could be or should be, or someone's got to have made a tool for this. So I think that's like it names a tension there about like the whole build versus buy, which has been around since the beginning of time. That dialogue is certainly changing right now, and I think the build versus buy equation has definitely started shifting dramatically, but still it's not like a build is like overnight. So I think that's part of the hype I've been seeing too. It's like, yeah, same thing. You can build all this stuff for like 5 minutes. And you're like, really? It's worth exploring also even what's out there, and maybe it's adaptable to your specific needs. And that is obviously still a faster route. But it is sort of like, how do you find the ones that you trust, that you like the company of? You like do a little research while you're doing your free trials and see who's back there. I know one of the things we were talking about is sort of like as you are thinking about integrating different AI opportunities out there in LinkedIn land, sort of Taylor's advice, I've wanted to hear your thoughts about sort of like how do you help folks sort of in your line of work think about what they should be maybe buying versus building? Do you help people think about that, or what should they be using that's already existing, where again, like you have a couple of these things you've already recommended? Are there other ways you help guide the conversations inside organizations about where they should be spending sort of the bulk of their effort in the AI journey? What does that look like for you?
I'm still probably a big fan of buy, but build prototypes. And I think kind of here's why. I think building on your own, and I know right now, and this I think is some of the hype, vibe coding.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of it. And what I have found is there is a certain level you can get to, and then there's a whole nother level it takes
Right.
to actually build a real world working application that a
Right.
lot of users use.
Right. Right.
So I can really easily build a prototype for something, and
Yep.
then I can actually use that to inform decision making, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
So a lot of times I will build, I'll give you an example where I took some data, like some email marketing data. I wanted to understand what were the top email like campaigns that raise the most money for this organization, and trying to get a visual representation out of that, out of the current CRM I had access to.
Yeah.
Challenging,
Yeah.
because it's like rows of like spreadsheet data.
Right.
I'm like, what's the like visual story here? So you can go use a tool like Lovable or Replit or Base 44. You can feed it that, and you can say, I want to build a dashboard that shows me this kind of information from this data.
Yeah.
It'll vibe code one for you.
Right.
And then I took that to the team. I'm like, look, this was the thing that raised the most money. It's easy to see it now. So that, in my opinion, is like a good way to use, like, you can kind of build like little small use case things.
Right.
When you try to go build, like, we're not going to buy our CRM anymore. We're going to build our own CRM. That's going to be a lot more challenging than you realize, you know?
100%.
And you do need developers. You do need people. Like, the vibe code debugs itself. To me, just in my experience, that is still a lot of hype. It kind of does and it kind of doesn't. Like, you definitely hit a lot of walls.
Yeah. Well, I think Tommy talked about that. Yeah, like it's
you said that you and Tommy talked about that. Like, you hit a lot of walls. This can quickly turn into a full-time job where like all you're doing, and I think that's what you said, Tommy. Like, he spent a lot of time on it, right?
He's like, I'm not doing anything else. That's what I'm doing. I'm building this thing, and and he's like, and I come from a perspective of where I'm also like able to understand and be able to go troubleshoot. Like, that's also, again, not a lot of people's sweet spot, but I love the example there of like how you actually can use the vibe coding idea to actually get really cool information for your organization. You're not trying to build a tool necessarily that everyone else is going to use, but you are building something that actually is going to help you make sense of your own data or things like that, which is actually what you really, at the moment, that's what you need. You're in an organization. You're not like, hey, I'm going to go build this great tool that everyone's going to use. And that's not really your goal. Really, you're just like, hey, I'm trying to make sure I'm able to make sense of my data, like maybe pour in a couple, data sets from different tools that don't talk to each other. There are lots of those kinds of opportunities, but still, I think it takes like a dedicated person, or at least dedicated time within a role. So I think that's one of the things I want to say to like leadership folks too is, yes, there's a lot of efficiencies that are out there, but the hype, I think, is that all this stuff can either be done by itself or something like that, or you're going to you're going to somehow have these ready-made data analysts or something that the AI is suddenly going to do this for you. But again, it still takes the person and the people and the team to interpret what's happening here. And then what do you do with that information? It can spit stuff out at you, but then what? You know, okay, great.
Exactly.
How does that change our next campaign? How does that help us do that next outreach? How does that help us move our work forward? There's no bot that's going to do, that. It can give you suggestions even, but then you have to be like, great, now I have to implement that, or I have to decide. It still takes my reasoning to decide stuff that's being spit out, what actually is something that we feel like we can implement, and then test it and see how some of those suggestions actually work on the ground in the real world. But that vibe coding example is a perfect one of like one of those like hype and then like reality and like a use case. So perfect example.
Yeah.
All right, we're almost out of time, but any last hot takes? We know we're going to put together like a resource list, but any last hot takes of like beyond the hype, things that you've seen worked really well, or things you want to be like, don't do this?
Yeah, I mean, a couple more things that I'll just say that I think work really, really well. So like thinking through like a workflow of how I might take something that was discussed in a meeting, I'm going to talk through like a scenario, real quick hot take of like piecing together different AI tools to get to an outcome really fast. Okay. So let's say, I use an AI note taker. I know that that's not something everyone's super comfortable with maybe, but like more and more, it's literally just for me. Like I use my AI note taker, it joins some meetings, and then I have my notes. And I then use that. One, I can go read through and make sure I didn't miss anything. But two, sometimes, let's say it's like, okay, we had like a huddle where we talked about some ideas for a marketing campaign. I can then go take the call transcript and I can feed that into, I don't know, your pick, Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, whatever it is. Maybe that you've built some custom GPTs to say like, help me come up, like brainstorm some additional ideas. Here's what we talked about. Help me put this together in a presentation that I can then go take to leadership. Okay, so it's like going from like the marketing team had a huddle, took the notes, put it into a presentation format that's in ChatGPT, for example, and then you can go to a tool like Google Notebook. You can use Gamma. I really like Gamma app, and say like, here's my outline. Make this into a beautiful presentation. So within 1 hour, I can take my notes from that meeting, brainstorm a little bit more on it with ChatGPT, and create a presentation to go show to the leadership team or whoever stakeholders I need to get buy-in from. And like, it's this nice presentation. Yeah. And it didn't take me a week to put together.
Right. I mean, exactly. I do that kind of stuff all the time, but I think that's a great one. I think, and the note-taking stuff, I think is interesting. I think people's, like we're starting, it's becoming a lot more just sort of like this is commonplace. And I think we just all are kind of we've sort of like lessened.
They know everything.
Panic. I know. Everyone's already listening.
Everyone already knows everything.
I'm like, do you carry one of these around? Yeah, guess what? Exactly. You're pretty much on the microphone like all the time. So
I mean, I literally typed something into Google today that I swear I've never said to my phone, and I've only thought. And it's like, it literally
It's in there.
Types it in. It's in there.
It's crazy. But so anyway, but that's a great little sequence of like, hey, folks, like, if you haven't been doing this kind of stuff, that right there is just a perfect, like, real use case for folks to sort of take in back to your day-to-day, start thinking about, try it. Just actually do that, walk that all the way through, take your notes, put it in, have it like, ask it. I love that, the dialogue that you can have with the AI. Like, what am I not thinking about? What was this real? Does this seem too far-fetched? Like, push back on me. Like, and you get those like conversations back and forth.
Ask it to push back on you.
Yeah. With the AI, what am I missing? What am I not thinking about? Like, what's the other thing? Because it obviously has like all the information in the world at its fingertips. You're like, what am I not thinking about? It's really good at telling you what you're not thinking about. Like, that.
Exactly.
So that's perfect and awesome. So we'll do the recap. Thank you, Taylor, for your time and for your insights into like real practical uses of the tools. So we get past the hype and get into the realities of practical uses of the tools. Super awesome. Love what you guys are doing at Shizzle. I love all the zizzles and all the things. So keep kicking some booty. Next week, we're going to be at the Nonprofit Technology Conference. I'm going to be live podcasting somewhere. Come find us. I'll be there with Bree Bren, the co-founder of Advocacy AI, and we're going to be huddled somewhere. We might be in a room. We might be in the back of the main session room somewhere, but we'll be in the hallway. Come find us and we can do a little shout out in the background of our live Untangled episode from NTC next week, Thursday at noon Eastern. And Taylor, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Everyone have a great day.
Have a good Thursday.